Hello and welcome to episode number 100 and I believe 55 of the TEW 2020 Challenge Run. This is going to be Monday Night Raw for week 3 of July 2021, and the road to King of the Ring and Evolution are in full swing. We actually will find out the first man and woman in the Raw semi-final, so the first round that will be done at King of the Ring. Oh, the Raw final even, because it's the Raw final, the SmackDown final, and the Grand final, yeah. So yeah, of the first man and woman to reach the Raw final, as well as Ripley versus Kairi Sane, and a whole lot of other goodness. Without any further ado, let's jump straight into the show.
Life has been taken for granted too long. The lies and excuses have conquered. Is this the time bomb waiting to go off? So tell me why has it gone to this? We live just like we're dead. Afraid of something, afraid of someone. It's time to rise from the ashes. Rise, it's a new day. Life has been taken for
Kofi opens the show here from Amsterdam, Netherlands, and he's just in the ring after they show a recap of the ending of the match last week, and he's here. He says, I feel like I've got to come out here and explain myself to everybody. You know, I know we've all been there, we've all lost a friend, we've all had friends attacked and had our friends screwed over. That's what happened to me when Woods was attacked 2 weeks ago, and I'm not going to rest until I find out who did it. And Miz, he was saying some things to me, and they enraged me. He knew exactly what he was doing, trying to get under my skin, and I took the bait basically, and I need to apologise to Damian Priest because it was for him. It was his opportunity in the Intercontinental Championship that I lost, and I just want to apologise to him and hope I can make it out to him some way. Damian Priest then comes out and he says, "Look, Kofi, I'm not going to pretend that everything's all hunky dory here because I am angry at you because that was my championship opportunity. I was going to take that title off the Miz and shut him up for good, but now he's away with the title. And I've got to earn another opportunity at it if I want to get another one. But I understand what you're going through. I understand that your friend got attacked and you're looking to find who did it. And I've got all the empathy in the world for you. I hope that all gets resolved and you can get revenge on the person who did that. But there's no need for you to stick your nose in my business because I think we can agree that you don't think I was a suspect, and I wasn't a suspect. That's why neither you or Breeze have investigated me, and so don't understand why you have to get in my face, Kofi. Because why would I have attacked Woods? What would I have gained from it? And you're doing nothing but stopping me from taking the Miz down, which is what you're aiming for anyway. That's when the Miz comes out with Elias. He's like, I'm not even out here, and I'm the talk of the town. Everyone's talking about the Miz. Everyone was talking about the Miz in Rome. Everyone was talking about the Miz in Madrid. And everyone's talking about the Miz in Amsterdam. My name's getting around here quite quickly. And John, he can't be here tonight. And so it's going to be me and Elias's duty to take you two out because you both seem to think that you've got it all figured out to beat me, but you haven't. And Kofi's like, well, you see, if my tag team partner's away and yours is away, how about you team with Elias and I'll team with Damian right now and we'll have a tag match. And then that match gets made official. We come back from the break, it's Kofi and Priest against The Miz and Elias. It hits a 77, that's actually pretty good here in Holland, based on the ratings, of course. And in 13:26, The Miz and Elias defeat Kofi and Priest when Elias pins Priest because of John Morrison. He is here after all. Miz was lying, and he pulls Kofi off the apron when the referee's not looking, and Kofi chases him off. He tries to hit Morrison, he accidentally bumps in a Priest, and then Elias rolls up Damian Priest to get the win, and Miz and Elias steal the win here because again Kofi had his mind elsewhere. 55 for Elias, 79 for Miz, 79 for Priest, and an 83 for Kofi. We then cut to the we'll probably have another break there actually. Then we cut back to the Raw management office when Tony Storm is in there yapping at Breeze and Eve, he's like, this isn't fair. Like, Kyrie's my opponent in the Queen of the Ring, and she decided to take a match with Rhea tonight, which was apparently more important than facing me in this tournament. That's just straight up disrespect to both me and the tournament, and quite frankly, I think it means I should get a bye to the next round, because you don't really want that representing Raw in the final, do you? And he's like, look, Tony, we got the 2 semi-finals. One's Liv and Raquel, the other is you and Kyrie. So there's not really a specific week set for each one, because the bracket's just a mere template. We can deviate from it as per when Kyrie had taken the booking of the match with Rhea. But Kyrie will have to wrestle next week, Tony, so if anything, it should be in your best interest to want Rhea to beat Kyrie tonight, because she probably won't be 100% next week. Tony's like, you make a good point. Bye. And then Tony leaves, and she crosses past in the hallway or the doorway with Damian Priest, who's now coming in. And he's like, what do you want, Priest? He's like, give me Kofi. I want Kofi Kingston. I want him tonight in the main event. And Priest is like, okay, well, Kofi, he's a little sidetracked right now, and I don't blame him. I'm working on solving that case. But if he's good to go and he wants this match, how about we do that, and we'll even make it a number 1 contenders match, and you need to earn your rematch for that title. How about that, Priest? And he's like, yeah, that sounds good. And then they leave. Priest is like, he gets a phone call, and he's like, this is about the whole Xavier Woods thing. I've got to take this. And and he walks out. And he was like, oh, so much stress. I'm so glad that there's no pain in the ass in my women's division at the minute, because the men's division is kind of in shambles right now. And then from off camera, you just hear the sound of someone clearing her throat. And Eve turns around, and they're face to face with the Queen. She's like, bravo, Eve. You thought that you could keep me away from this show by suspending me for what I did a month ago, woo. Well, in case you forgot, anyone else has forgotten, that time is up, woo. And I am back here now. And I see your little plan. You kept me out of Queen of the Ring because you knew I was just going to win it. And for some reason you think that that's going to hamper your little marketing strategy if anyone can win this tournament, because with Charlotte Flair's in it, we know she's winning. I'm the queen in that ring, whether or not I win a Poxy tournament to prove it. And you've kept me out of it because you want to, or not organically, you want to try and create your own underdog story because you're sick of me, Eve. And I've noticed this for months now, that you're just doing everything you can to try and stop me from getting what I deserve. And I'm not even going to be on Evolution at this rate because your stubbornness decided that I had to be suspended for a month for actions out of my control. And he's like, Charlotte, you beat up a referee. She's like, actions out of my control, Eve. But don't worry, I'll be at the pay-per-view. I'll be there. So, it's up to you to decide what capacity, Eve. Woo. And she leaves. So Charlotte's back. She served a suspension that you probably forgot she was on. But yeah, she was on it, and now she's back. I definitely just clicked next segment. Just a funny backstage interaction. R-Truth has got his 24/7 title, and then Cameron Grimes and Bo Dallas, the stock exchange, with their wad of money, like, come on, Truth, how much for me to buy that title? Cameron Grimes, the new $1 million champion, right there. I'm going to buy that title off you. And he's like, my baby's not for sale at any price. And Cameron Grimes like, Truth, it's been nice dealing with you. Have a grand on me. It's like, oh, thanks, man. And he leaves. So I can't believe he wants to buy my $1 million championship. And then Everrise walk in a frame, and Matt Martell rolls up R-Truth to win the 24/7 title. And he celebrates like, oh, yes, I did it. I'm a champion. We got to go show Kevin. And they run off with the belt. And R-Truth's like, damn it, I should have sold my baby. Mackie is up next after she's been eliminated from Queen of the Ring, as has Asuka. So Mackie's singing and dancing away to the ring by herself because her J-Flow members are still out from the attack by Dominion at Bad Blood. And yeah, she's jumped by all 5 members ahead of a match with Julia here on Raw, which of course 5-on-1 assault led to a match. Julia beats Mackie in 5:53 with a diving crossbody, and more Asuka related shenanigans, probably a mist to the face, and the numbers game for the first time in her career is against Mackie, and she can't get the job done over Julia here tonight. A 38 for Julia and a 50 for Mackie. We get a recap of last week's segment with Bunny and Angel Garza and Raquel, and then Raquel and Garza are backstage just having a chat about it. They go, "It was so awesome seeing Bad Bunny here in person. It's like, he's a hero to me and all Latinos everywhere. And the spirit of him will guide you to victory in your match with Liv Morgan later on tonight in the Queen of the Ring." And Zelina and her gaggle of misfits walk up and she's like, I said it last week, I'll say it again, it's embarrassing the state you've become. But Bad Bunny's not here tonight. Bad Bunny, you got lucky because of him, and he walked into our world and he thought he was safe because he's not one of us. But if we ever see Bad Bunny around here again, make no mistake about it, Andrade, Isaiah Scott, or Escobar will lay their hands on him. But since he's not here tonight, how about you, Garza, go one-on-one with one of my men without your little Latino hip-hop friend by your side? And he's like, okay, bet. And then Swerve is the one who steps up. So it's going to be Angel Garza against Swerve. Maybe up next, I can't remember. I think it's just later on tonight, though. But first, we get Apollo Crews in the ring on a podium. And he's doing the early celebration of the first ever Nigerian World Heavyweight Champion in WWE history. Because you see, when you're a champion, you need to sort of prepare, and you're going to win. You've got to prepare everything, because Raw is only 24 hours after, 48, but whatever. 48 hours after King of the Ring, and that's not enough time for a true, pristine champion to get everything set up. So I've already booked my days in Nigeria to take my championship to my homeland, and the Prince of Nigeria is actually here tonight to coronate me the first Nigerian World Heavyweight Champion. And they bring out some stupid actor in looks like a Nigerian king or whatever. And then Keith Lee comes out and he's like, this is all pathetic. Like, Apollo, what happened to you, man? This is all so over the top. You were doing just fine as Apollo Crews, the hero to the people and the whatever, just doing your thing. But now you've taken it over the top with this shenanigans. Like, I understand you're proud of your heritage and I get that. It's great. But this is a bit too far. I mean, is that man even really a Nigerian king? And he's like, how dare you disrespect Nigerian king? And then Keith Lee would pounce him off the podium. He goes flying out of the ring. And then he'd hit a spirit bomb on the Nigerian prince and hold up his world title. Just a fun little segment, because segments like this are fun and wacky. And they are good to have on our show from time to time to space things out. 77. Angel Garza defeats Swerve in 11:44 with a wing clipper. It says by distraction by Bad Bunny, but he's not here. It's just like his song comes on over the PA or whatever, and they think he's coming out, but Bad Bunny's not actually here. Swerve gets hit with the wing clipper, and Garza picks up the win, because I feel like he's been doing a fair bit of jobbing recently. I need to give him a nice win. 77 for Garza and a 72 for Swerve. So 77 overall for that is pretty good, and Angel Garza picked up the dub. Backstage segment, Buddy Murphy's putting over his match up next with Cedric Alexander. The winner will go on to face either Ricochet or Kevin Owens in the Raw final at King of the Ring. And he's like, I beat Seth Rollins, I overcame the Messiah, and I came so close in my home country to becoming the World Heavyweight Champion. This opportunity does not pass me by. And I'm against a man that I know very well, one of my 205 Live OGs, Cedric Alexander, and I've beaten him before for the Cruiserweight title. I've beaten him a fair bit. And I know what it takes to get it done. And I know Cedric, he's going to try and bring the fight, but I'm going to bring the fight more because I'm Buddy Bloody Murphy. And then MVP and Cedric walk up. He's like, it's a little bit different from last time we met, Buddy. Because last time we met, I was supposed to be the underdog. I was the hero to the people, but now I don't give a damn. Now I'm in the hurt business with MVP by my side and Dio and Shelton and Lashley. So, we haven't really got much of a chance to beat this version of Cedric Alexander. You beat the old Cedric. Let's see how you can hang with the new Cedric, Prime Alexander, baby. But before that, we get a quick backstage segment of Otis chilling with Ricochet and Bronson Reed. And they're like, me and Bronson Reed, we're looking for... We liked our tag team victory we got a couple of weeks ago, and we're looking to sort of expand that. And Otis, you're free next week, sure? So, if you want to grab a tag team partner and come looking for a match against me and Bronson? And he's like, my friend Sami, he doesn't normally like to team with me, but I'll let him know. And then Sheamus walks in off Ray and he's like, what's all the crack, fellas? And he's like, well, Otis here is looking for a tag team partner to face me and Bronson next week. Do you know anyone? He's like, I don't think I do, fella, no. And they're like, and then Drew walks in, he pats Sheamus on the back like a dickhead and smug prick friend. He's like, what's all the hip happening here? As Raw franchise player, I do think I have a little bit of pull. And I would like to see this match. Drew McIntyre gonna pull some strings with management, maybe. Ricochet and Bronson Reed, you can get your tag team match next week. Just Otis and... Who's Otis' partner? Who wants to be Otis' partner? And Sheamus sort of gives him a dirty look, like, don't you fucking dare. It's like, Drew McIntyre says that Sheamus should be Otis' partner. I'll go get it done. And he sarcastically pats Sheamus on the back, and he's like, oh, fuck's sake. So Drew getting his good friend Sheamus in shit here tonight. 79. Pretty fucking good. Buddy Murphy defeats Cedric Alexander in 15:04 for Murphy's Law to advance to the Raw final of King of the Ring. 78 for Buddy. 79. Cedric actually outscored Buddy Murphy here, which is very interesting. And yeah, Buddy Murphy advances. He'll face either Kevin Owens or Ricochet in the next round. But Buddy's night is not over here, unfortunately, because after the match, MVP grabs the mic and he says, You shouldn't have done that, Buddy. Because you've just unleashed... We were looking for an excuse. Because the almighty Bobby Lashley, he's not been the best, most happy man since Bad Blood. That's why we haven't seen him around here. I've hinted at it. But what you just did is you've pissed off the Hurt Business, buddy, and that has serious repercussions. Boom, boom, thunder, sounds on the stage, and out comes the almighty Bobby Lashley for the first time since Bad Blood. And he just beats the shit out of Buddy Murphy. So Lashley's back, he spears him through the barricade, Dominator, all sorts, just Lashley-style beatdown, because he took that loss to Drew McIntyre at the pay-per-view, and he's not happy. This is a new and improved, enraged Bobby Lashley. Just a quick backstage segment between Raquel and Liv, just having a back and forth before their match, saying, I'm going to win, no, I'm going to win, and Raquel's like, look at the size of me, I could eat you, and she's like, no, I'm a plucky Spitfire. But only one of them can win, and who will it be? Fuck, I thought that was the match. but first, we have Firefly Funhouse on tour. Live Firefly Funhouse with Bray Wyatt and Susie in the ring. Yowie wowie and all sorts. They leave the puppets behind, actually. I don't know how they'd actually do the puppets live and in the ring. He says, before we take care of Aleister Black and Alexa Bliss, we thought we'd come and share our show with all you Fireflies live here in Amsterdam. Boo! Because it's Amsterdam and he's against Aleister Black. And then they do the usual Firefly Funhouse shtick, but it's... because this is actually going to play in nicely, because whilst they are still going to be the babyface in the feud, you would have to know that if we're doing a Raw in the Netherlands, they're going to want a cheer for Aleister. So we can actually pass it off that the crowd is not happy with Bray Wyatt and Susie here, but they're still the babyfaces. And then the lights go out and the sirens play and the crowd cheer, because when they come back on, Amsterdam's own Aleister Black is there, and he drops Bray Wyatt with a black mass. Alexa takes out Susie with her sister Abigail. Dexter and Killian Dane sort of just trash the background of the Firefly Funhouse. And then they break it and sort of throw him against the walls, smash him against the windows and all sorts of shit like that. And then he just stands tall over Bray Wyatt and Susie's down bodies. Just a little segment. to get Alistair on actually in the ring, because a lot of this has been like pre-recorded shit, but like you'd have to get him out there if we're doing a show here. 59 is what the match got. Yeah, that's more like it. It is Raquel Gonzalez who beats Liv Morgan in 11 minutes with a big boot to advance to the Raw final of the Women's Queen of the Ring to face either Kyrie or Toni Storm next week. The winner of that we'll find out next week. 60 for Raquel and a 58 for Liv. Tag Team Appreciation vignette. We look back at the illustrious legendary tag team career of Edge and Christian, as well as the kind of legendary, I guess, run in NXT in the Undisputed Era. Like, you could definitely say they had a legendary run in NXT. Don't know about overall WWE, but these two teams are going to go 2-on-2 for the first time ever at King of the Ring. Who's going to come out on top? Rhea Ripley's cutting a promo in Gorilla ahead of her match with Kyrie. She's like, look, here's the thing, right? Io's got this sort of vendetta against me for thinking I disrespected her best friend, Kyrie Sane, and I never did that once. It's like, I know Kyrie's a hell of a competitor. She won their first Mae Young Classic, which I was a part of. Io came runner-up in the second one, which I was a part of. Io and me fought in NXT loads. I know how good these women are. So it's not a thing of disrespect. But, again, there's a line between arrogance and confidence, and I ride that line quite thin, Charlie. And whilst you may consider a bit arrogant, I'm confident that I'm the best woman here on Raw, because if you don't have that self-belief, then what the fuck are you doing here? But I wasn't disrespecting Kyrie by saying that you're playing with your friends and not facing the real challengers. No, because I'm the only real challenger on the show. You could say Charlotte, she already beat Charlotte, but then it's me. And Kyrie shouldn't have been ahead of me in the queue. I know she's a hell of a competitor. They had a hell of a match. But I'm the number one contender. I'm the real star here. And I'm the next Raw's Women's Champion. And I'm going to prove that by beating Kyrie in the ring. If she was supposedly the toughest challenge that Io's ever faced, what will that make me? That will make me a danger and a threat. And that's not something Io wants to admit. And then she goes out to the ring for her match. I should have put this on last. I should have had faith. But actually, I kind of like the order I laid it out with Kofi and Priest going on last, and then there's some stuff after the match as well. So it's fine. It's fine. 14 minutes, 21 seconds, Rhea Ripley defeats Kyrie with the Riptide. 70 for Rhea and a 75 for Kyrie Sane. 83 overall. Fantastic stuff. And after the match, Io walks out onto the apron. She does go onto the apron, but like Rhea celebrates, she turns around and Io's on the apron. And then she dives in, she hits the springboard drop kick, taking Rhea Ripley down. Then Rhea gets up, she's like, okay, bitch. And they get into a fight. Big brawl, they spill to the outside, they brawl around ringside, smashing each other against the steps and aprons and all sorts. And then the referees have to come and pull them apart. And we do the thing where once Rhea would throw all the referees aside and go charging into Io's pile, but in the end they have to be separated by referees and road agents and all sorts, because Io really thinks that Rhea's being disrespectful, and Rhea's not going to take that, because she just wants to be the champion. She just thinks she's the best. Backstage, I rate everybody here apart from Charlie. Obviously, that's why the rating is so bad. But it's actually, if you look at the Reds, it's actually Finn Balor who brought it down. Charlie's backstage with Finn, talking about his time on Raw. What's next? What's the future for Finn Balor? He says, I'm just sort of going where my momentum takes me, Charlie. And then before we can finish, everybody's walking like, Finn, look. Wait, but where's Kevin? This is Kevin's locker room. And he's like, no, this is my locker room. He's like, well, I thought I saw Kevin in here last week. And Finn's like, huh. Well, what do you want? He's like, well, we wanted to show Kevin our title, but he's not here apparently. So you can look at it instead. Look, we're winners. We won a title. Look at what happens when you are part of the Ever-Rise Kevin Owens show. And Finn's like, I've got no interest in this. So, thanks for your time, Charlie, but you'll see me next week. And they're like, huh, that's very disrespectful, Finn. We're the champions. We rule. Then R-Truth rolls up at my tongue and gets his belt back. 83 rated segment. We're in the A-list locker room, the whole shebang. All 7 of them are here now because we saw Morrison earlier on, and the girls sort of just linger around when they're not wrestling. It's like, everybody hates Miz, don't they? They all say that I'm overrated, that I suck, that I don't belong here. But look at this. Look at what's happened here. The Intercontinental Championship for the last 2 weeks here on Raw has been the main event of the show. It opened the show, it's closing the show this week. Last week, it closed the show. And you know why that is? Did that happen under Damian Priest? Did that ever happen when Kofi Kingston was the champion? No. That's because of me. And I'm the most relevant, most must-see champion here in WWE. And the records show it, the ratings show it. And whether it be Damian Priest or Kofi Kingston, each one is only a bit player in this game because they're going to get the rub of their lives by even stepping into the ring with a must-see champion. So whichever one it is, I've beaten you both before, I'll beat you both again. Go up there and beat each other up for me. Then Tyler Breeze walks in, he's like, you make some points, Miz, but like, Kofi, he's a bit not all there right now. He's having a bit of an issue. And quite frankly, Miz, that your involvement in this thing is highly suspicious to me. Like, you just so happened to be the one to reap the benefits from Kofi's mental state, I guess. And Miz like, what exactly you were accusing me of, Breeze? And he's like, well, I'm just saying, like, other than immediate gain, like Cedric Alexander would have gotten, or the Undisputed Era would have gotten, who we've both ruled out at this point. The next person who would want to attack Kofi would be someone who's got something to gain from getting in the head of his friend. And Christian and Kofi had a match, and that was sort of like an IC title scene, sort of championship opportunity match. And Smith's like, so let me guess, you're accusing me of attacking Xavier Woods, is what you're doing. And he's like, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that I've got a reason to still suspect you could have had an involvement in this. Because Kofi's loss is your gain. Last week, Kofi's mental state was your gain. And you've got to think about who has the most to gain from this whole scenario. And it could be you, Miz. Could not be, but I'm still looking into it. Anyway, come watch the match and hope you have good time at King of the Ring defending that title. And Miz is like, well, what the fuck was that about? Talking smack. Tony Storm's going to be on, Mr. Money in the Bank's going to be on, Andrew McIntyre's going to be on. For the main event that gets a 78. That's not as good as Kyrie and Rhea, but it's still pretty fucking good here in Amsterdam. Kofi gets the win. He defeats Damian Priest in 17:24 with Trouble in Paradise, and he punches his ticket to King of the Ring for the IC title to face The Miz. An 82 for Kofi Kingston and 78 for Damian Priest. So yeah, probably should have been 80 on average with that. And then Kofi celebrates as he gets the victory as we enter the show, and the show's go. Wait. I'm hearing reports that something's happening backstage. Rhea and Rio have found each other again in the parking lot, and they're having a fight. They brawl in the parking area. People are trying to get them off. The referees are trying to pull them apart, but they keep fighting. And there's cars being vandalized, and just shit's getting broken all over the place. These two women are going ham on each other. This feud has really taken up a step this week. Kyrie's here. She's trying to calm Io down. She like pulls her to her side and is like, chill. It's not worth it. Like someone trying to chill out their drunk mate having a scrap outside her spoons. But Io's not listening, and her and Rhea get into a fight, break more car windows, and then eventually they both leave in handcuffs. As Kyrie sort of like cries to the policeman, like, no, don't take my friend away. She's fine. But both Rhea and Io are taken to a local penitentiary, I guess. Since we can't, I guess police station is probably a bad word. We like hospital is. But yeah, very chaotic end for the women's division here on Raw. Oney's on Talking Smack, and he says, "Look, I know I haven't been around much recently, but I'm still here. My presence is still felt. I'm just taking my time and having a nice little thought because I've got a year to cash this in, and my opportunity to kick ass hasn't arisen yet. And because I'm not here physically, my presence lingers over the show because I'm going to be the next World Heavyweight Champion, and you can kiss my ass because I'm going to kick your ass, throw him up." Short and simple for Oney, just reminding us that he has the case. Tony storms on next. She's like, well, wasn't that something? Yeesh. Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai, who knows where they've gone? Are they going to be able to make it to Queen of the Ring? Are they going to be forfeiting the championship? Because they're criminals now, and Kyrie was there as well, and she was crying. But she's going to be crying about a whole lot more than that next week when I embarrass her and I punch my ticket, because Raquel, you may have made it to the final, but the Raw side of the final even. But Tony Time is all the time, and she's going to kick Kyrie's ass next week, and then go on to Queen of the Ring next Sunday, beat whichever SmackDown woman it is she has to face in the grand final, and cement her ticket as the Queen of the Ring. Because I've been doing this for years. I'm still only, 24, 25 years old. I'm going to go down as the best, baby. And finally, Drew McIntyre. He's in good spirits here today. He's like, what a show that was. God. Kofi and Priest, what a main event. Kyrie and Rhea. Rhea was right. I'm getting her name really mixed up a lot today. I don't know why. Kyrie and Rhea really tore it up. What a show, but can we talk about that revolutionary match Drew McIntyre made for next week? Ricochet and Bronson Reed, the budding friendship against Otis and his best friend Sheamus. And Charlie's like, Drew, Sheamus has sort of had this Otis thing going on for a month or so now, and he's your friend, and is there a reason why you're making him do this? He's like, I'm just an eye for talent. As the franchise player here on Raw, I've got to work out for the show like even Tyler Breeze do. And if I see an opportunity for the blue-collar Celtic Warriors, or whatever you want to call them, to be the next greatest tag team here on Raw, hey, I'm going to step in and do something about it. So, next week, Sheamus and Otis, I talked to Eve, I talked to Breeze, and they've got that done. That's going to happen. They're against Bronson Reed and Ricochet. And then Charlie sort of just stops. And she's like, "And what about you, Drew McIntyre?" He's like, "Huh?" It's like, "And what about you? What are you up to next week?" And he's like, no, it's simple, Charlie. Next week I'm gonna... Huh. That's a very good question. Suppose I could do another franchise open, but those are kind of played out at this point. I guess I've been putting my friends' wishes and other people's wishes and just the show over myself quite recently. And I still have 2 wishes in my back pocket, so I guess I could change that whenever I felt like it. Can't wish for a world title shot, but to do a whole lot of other things. Good chat, Charlie. 83 is pretty good. We actually would have gained pop in a European tour if we had a better TV deal. But what matters more than the 83, of course, is what you thought of the show. So let me know in the thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you next time for 156, which will be SmackDown. See you then.